Alright guys, we haven't been in our garden for about a week. So right now we are coming out and just kind of seeing what's going on and finding out that there's a lot of stuff that we need to pick. Jess is picking the tomatoes off the tree. This is our pear tree. And we've got a lot of little tomatoes on here growing. We just let the vine grow right up the tree. And that way we don't have to trellis it and it can keep going. And we try to pull it over like a water fountain when it gets so high that we can't reach, and that way it'll grow down like it's doing here. But these have been very productive this year. And we also have some pears that are falling here and there. I saw one earlier, so not quite ripe yet. Little early drop. We had a little wind. I think that might have been the reason for that one. But you can see I definitely need to water. And we pulled our first carrot. Jess has our carrot here. This is our first carrot of the season, and one of Baker Creek varieties. I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly which one it was, but these have been very, very good for greens. And now we get to try the root, so that's exciting. We've got some tomatoes already in the bowl, and this is a green striped cushaw that I actually thought was a Tahitian melon. So, and that's white, so that actually does look more like a Tahitian melon, but this is out in the sun, so that's the shape of a green striped cushaw and the leaf pattern, and I'm almost 90% sure that's a green striped cushaw. And because it's out in this bright sun, it's actually a little wider than the ones we've been growing in shade. But the amount of stuff that has happened this week has been really great. Check out the okra. These needed to be picked a few days ago. You guys know about okra and how fast they grow. These are growing crazy. This is just a couple plants, and again we did polyculture, so there's plants everywhere around our yard. We just kind of randomly put them places. Wow, look at this one. That's a big okra. Oh, our chard definitely needs some water. There's some green in the middle though. It's not completely gone. That actually looks like something else. That might have been lack of water, but it could have been maybe a fungus or something that got on it. But the new growth looks healthy, so I'm pretty happy about it as long as it keeps coming. So Egyptian spinach, and there's a lot of stuff in here. That's New Zealand spinach down there, and this is mint. We put mint everywhere, and this is a ground cherry we've got growing. These are all chicories to improve the soil here, and as they die out we plant other things, and so far it's worked really well because they create, as the chicory die, that big root that they have creates a interstitial space in the soil, and very moist, organic filled, rotting, it's basically already ready for planting when the chicory dies. So we just kind of interplant and swap them out. Jess is getting these okra. Yeah, they don't make it to the kitchen. This is our citrus plant we've got, or it's a lemon tree. What is this, a Thompson lemon? Myers lemon. Myers lemon tree. Again, okra, and this is, behind the okra is pineapple sage. And then we put clover, red clover all around the base, so that whole area is edible. All of this, most of this is edible. This is Shiso. This is really cool, guys. If you haven't tried Shiso and you're looking for greens that'll grow in the summertime, this has an outstanding flavor. It's unmatched. I've not experienced it in any other leaf I've tried. It has a unique flavor all to itself. Texture is a little tough when raw. Oh wow, look at this guy. Oh, that's cool. He blends in perfectly. That would make a beautiful photograph. Very cool. Just breaking out the knife. What we got? What we got? What's going on? Oh, more okra?
Mm-hmm. It's nice and soft. Tea.
Nice. Let's see. I know there's some tomatoes down here too. Ooh, the Shiso over here is not doing as good, but it's still coming up. I've never done anything with this soil in here, and that was a pine tree that everything's planted right next to. We cut down because it snapped during a hurricane. So I ran out with my chainsaw during the hurricane and finished it up and cut it up, and that's what's left is that stump. But this is Roselle Hibiscus, which is really, really flavorful. It's kind of a bittersweet. A lot of medicinal properties to it. Good for us health-wise. This is not healthy, guys. This is a trumpet tree, and it has beautiful blooms on it. They're like white bell blooms. These are the starts to them. But this particular trumpet tree has been alive for about 3 years now, 4 years I think. We've been keeping it inside in a pot, and then we just recently planted it outside last year, and it took off. So we're excited to have that back and have it growing well. And this is a zinnia. These are really pretty, beautiful zinnias. And the Hollyopsis is really what I was excited about this year because it's a perennial. And I planted lavender down here. It's I just planted it about a month ago, so it's just now really taken. There's lots of mint growing everywhere as a ground cover. The tomatoes are growing all over the place. We didn't trellis them, so we're just kind of letting them do their thing. But this is Hollyopsis back here, and the leaves are really pretty. I can get some of the leaves to show you here, but you can see the white leaves and how variegated they are in color. It's really pretty. Yeah. So that's buckwheat. That's Japanese buckwheat. But Jess has got some maters. Check out all these maters, man. They are all in here. Polyculture stuff everywhere. But these are doing really well. All the trusses have red on them. So we're going to be taking in some tomatoes today. Very cool. These are still green, so yes. And this is the layered bed. This is where I took leaves and oats and cooked oats from where we were growing mushrooms with them, and I just layered the leaves and the oats together with a little mushroom compost, and like maybe I'm saying like maybe 5 or 6 layers. Just you know, every time I finished one, just start over with the cycle and continue. But it worked out so well. The soil is so healthy, and I guess it's because everything I put in there was fungal foods, you know, and we need more fungal in the more fungi in the soil to keep the soil food web stable, more so than using growing grass and having bacteria dominated soil. So fungi is the trick, guys. We need fungal foods in our soil, and you can have this right next to the sidewalk. Like, look at this. None of my neighbors have anything close to this. You see all my neighborhood? My dead dog, not dead though, she just likes the sun. But yeah, I'm the only person in my neighborhood that has like an outside garden that you can actually see. And guys, it just attracts so many pollinators, and I get so many neighbors that say thank you as they go by for, you know, just having something nice to look at when they walk their dogs. A lot of people actually tell me that they come by my yard specifically to see what's blooming each season. Now that we've got stuff going continuously, a lot of perennials, so literally it's just like every month something different, every week something different will bloom right now. So sometimes from day to day, especially the spring was just beautiful. It was like an orchestra of plants blooming in here. So you can see, oh, you can't really see it right now, but there's a shrimp plant up in the middle that's really pretty that I like. But yeah, this is all taro root, and these are pineapple sage. This is red clover, so all edible. All good stuff, guys. This was our chicory. It's now coming to an end, but it's been blooming every morning. I look out the window and it's covered with little blue blooms, and there's bugs all over it. Bees and pollinators, predator bugs, all kinds of bugs. I've documented so many of them. All right, how we doing? We get enough maters?
Look at the bottom. All the little ones.
Yay, we got a few maters on there. Leaving the rest to ripen a bit. So still more on here.
Oh, yeah.
Still a lot more on here. Very cool. This plant, this is all one plant, guys. It is just amazing when you make the soil really fertile and to the point where it's containing itself. You know, all the litter that falls from the trees in here, the leaf litter, it's basically sustaining it at this point, keeping it going. throughout the summer, keeping the soil cool because it's a nice cover. There's no light hitting the soil, so the microbes are protected. You know, this is a really good system, really tight knit. It's a mason wasp. It's a beneficial predator insect in a garden. This mason wasp lays, or it actually eats caterpillars. So it sucks out the juice of the larva, the jelly. That's how they eat. But this is our polyculture garden, guys, in the front of our house that we just started this year as an instant garden concept. I don't water it, and I really should, because it doesn't have any wood chips around it. There's no forest floor, except up here. I did put some wood chips around this area, and that's actually doing a whole lot better in terms of maintaining moisture and being able to have a little something in the middle of the day when it's really hot when I don't water. Because I've only watered twice since January this year, and it's July, so 2 times, man. The system we've got going in our food forest and kitchen garden in the back is by far the most stable I've ever seen, because I'm normally out here watering every day, and this year to say twice since January is unbelievable. But right now we've got our these are our sunflowers, and they were absolutely gorgeous this summer, but they have since died out a little bit, and now they've seeded, and now they're ready for picking. So we could pick the seeds if we wanted to, but we're just gonna take them off the tree and stick them in the backyard and let the squirrels and birds get to them. I think is how we roll on that one. Wow, here's another wasp. Ooh, oh, that's a paper wasp. I love wasps because they get rid of caterpillars, and that's the one thing that keeps us from getting our squash and all of our cucumbers, and I mean pretty much everything, tomatoes, you name it, and caterpillars are a problem. But not when you have wasps, so we promote as many wasps as we can in our yard. The buckwheat over here is just going crazy. It's doing really well. I'm gonna start picking it soon. Some of these had little seeds on them. See if we can find one to show you. Oh, here we go. So you might be able to see. I'm just gonna take this off and show you. But right at the base of these little blooms, you see these little, here's one. Those little guys, the little seeds that are in there, they look like little pyramids. But that's what they look like. And it's interesting because not every bloom has them. It's only on some of them, and they're so much bigger than the blooms. So that's interesting to me that the seeds would be that much bigger. But yeah, that's buckwheat, guys, Japanese buckwheat. Very excited to have that in the yard this year. I would love one. Thank you.
I had to make sure it was a good one before I gave it to you.
So this is our daikon radish row that we have, and while it is growing and it is coming up, it's I think it got stunted just because of the soil. This was all from the swale that I dug up, so it was the soil that was on the bottom put on top, and it's just not very good soil for growing. And the fact that I disturbed all the growth in there, all the mycelium, all the biology, I think this needs time to really get to a growing state, have more roots put into it, for interstitial space, for more air, more organics in general being put in the soil. So I think now that we've done the radish, next season this is going to be really good, with the exception of the grass that will not go away. This is, I believe it's Bermuda grass, is what's going on here. We've got centipede, and then Bermuda grass came over from my neighbors. But this grass is awful. Like, it grows through everything. It's like I cannot get it out. Even with cardboard, it grows right through the cardboard areas. I think it grows from the sides with rhizomes under the ground and shoots into the beds from the side areas. And that's why it's like no matter what you do to cover the ground, you can't really keep it out, because it works its way under the top layers of soil, you know, if it can find a way. But I mean, it's just growing everywhere. All these little spots in here, I'm trying to keep it out of the flower beds, and it just keeps growing right up into it. And again, guys, this is what happens when you don't water. The plants are a little stressed. some plants like a little stress, and they actually do better. You can see like the trees that have deeper roots, all the perennial plants, they're doing just fine. This is a moringa tree. I was hoping to get it a lot bigger this year, and this is a mulberry tree. So the mulberry's loving it, man. And they actually, I've heard many people say that the less you do to a mulberry tree, the happier it is. So very happy to let you guys know that I have found that to be very true. So here we go, guys. These are coming down pretty soon. We're going to take those in the back now that they look a little deathly. Look like they've passed their prime. So I don't want to do that to the neighbors. We're going to take those and put those in the backyard and let the squirrels and birds go to them. So you can see the little flowers here. The daikon radish blooms attract a lot of wasps that are actually the predators for vine borers. So if you're looking for a predator for the vine borer to keep the vine borer out of your yard, radish, grow lots of radish around where you're growing the squash, and you won't get as many vine borers. But that's it, guys. This is Tom with Permaculture Wilmington.